Good evening, dear students. Evening with Gelda program present you today one of the most constant contributor poets on Penuenda's international group, Mr. Birendu Sinha, who do I take my hat off to. Mr. Birendu was born in 1944 in a school teacher's family. Matriculation at the age of 12. Postgraduate from Patna University at the age of 18. Married at 19. Became a lecturer of English in a mega university college at the age of 19. Joined the State Bank of India as a probationary officer in 1970. Wrote books in English language, English grammar, dictionary of idioms and phrases, management, science and marketing. Hundreds of short stories and articles in national dailies. Composed nearly 500 poems in English and Hindi. Retired in 2004. Presently running coaching classes for the poor. Loves books, music, poetry, gardening, and services to the downtrodden. Oh, wow! It's really a nice bio. Esteemed poet, let's start our interview moment. Tell us, how did the first contacts with poetry occur?
Hello friends, I am B.K. Sinha from Patna. I am extremely thankful to Pramod Gangadharan, Gelda Castro, and other friends for inviting me for this interaction. Well, my first contact with poetry occurred when I was a teen in the final years of post-graduation. It was when I fell in love. It was a platonic love. She never knew about it. One day, she disappeared from my life. My heart was broken and emotions welled up into poetry. Since that day, I started writing poems. Well, I became a lecturer of English, a professor of English in Magad University at the young age of 19 only. And I was surrounded with a bevy of good-looking, beautiful, charming girls. They acted as inspiration for me to write further love poems.
Which poets did influence you in the first poems?
Well, the poets that left an indelible stamp on my writings, on my composition, were from my syllabus. In particular, it was William Shakespeare and the Lake District poets, that is, the Romantic poets. Romantic poets, by Romantic poets I mean William Wordsworth, Percy Bysshe Shelley, John Keats, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and George Gordon Byron.
In your opinion, what requirements are required to be a good poetry?
To become a poet, one must have an aesthetic sense. He must be a lover of beauty, not physical beauty, but beauty in all things. A tender heart, full of emotions, complete command over English language, and different types of rhetorical devices. And apart from these, I would like them to compose poems with rhyming scheme and metrical pattern. Well, I for one would not vote for free verse. I beg to be excused for that. I don't mean any ill will.
Which poetry book do you consider unforgettable?
The first book that that charmed my heart was Golden Treasury, an anthology of poems. And the second book was Gitanjali by Rabindranath Tagore, a Nobel Prize winner of poetry.
In your point of view, does poetry reveal the essence of a poet based on his writings?
A true poet must have empathy and the ability to do simulation. Put yourself in the shoes of the others. Means, if you want to write about others, you will have to enter into their hearts. This is called empathy.
Who was the greatest poet of all times?
His poetry may not necessarily reflect his personal view, personal feelings. Well, a poet to me is a shock absorber, he is a painter, he is a photographer, and to quote Matthew Arnold, he is a neutral observer, a disinterested reporter. Because, as you know, Matthew Arnold believed in the maxim that poetry is nothing but a criticism of life.
What's your favorite poetic style?
Well, so far the scheme, so far the style of poetry is concerned, all my poems, as you might have observed, are in sonnet form. A few of them are odes. I never do blank verse. Blank verse may be spontaneous, but then I beg to be excused and I say that there is no rhyming pattern, there is no musical, lyrical symphony. That's why I go in for sonnet form and odes, particularly the Shakespearean sonnets.
Why do you follow Pen Wonders International Group?
Yes, Pen Wonder International is my first love on Facebook. I started my career on this platform. Pen Wonders International is a confluence of poetry, is the best platform for all poets, budding poets, experienced poets, and old septuagenarian poets like me. It is a custodian of world-renowned poets and a connoisseur of English literature and poetry.
What advice would you like to give to the new generations of poets?
My advice, ninth question, my advice to the new generation poets is three-dimensional. Well, first of all, I consider it to be the primary duty of all the poets to be an entertainer. Second thing, besides being entertainer, they must promote religious amity. They must help establish world peace and spread the message of love throughout the length and breadth of this country.
And now, finalizing this moment, kindly, could you recite one of your poems for all of us now?
Well, so far reciting a poem is concerned, well, I'm talking to you without saying anything spontaneously because I failed to send a video clip because of its length it could not be sent. But then I would say a few lines about poetry. What is poetry? A sublime creation, serious thoughts and deep emotions. What is a poet? A keen observer, a painter, a photographer, watches life like a disinterested reporter, sings of joys and human tears, gaping wounds, endless fears, vaulting glee or sweet ecstasy, aches and pains, cruel conspiracy. Treat alike flowers and thorns, love and bonding, or hate a scorn. Arnold calls it high seriousness, Gita calls it disinterestedness. My verse is born where beauty lies, radiant smiles and shaft of eyes, undulating life, its loss and gains, whimpering agony and love strains, broken bangles, floundering heart, flesh mortgaged or sold on mart, lullaby days of infancy dolls, moonlit night and amorous calls, Kakulan dreams and fantasies, hard times cruel, memories legacies, empty-bellied babes unable to sleep, empty-bellied babes unable to sleep, hapless fallen mothers in grief, glycerin tears to lie and evade, fake Samaritans ready for aid. I draw inspiration from life and nature, their changing hues, forms and texture. Thank you, friends. I have taken a lot of your time and I wish you best of luck.
Wow, it was a brilliant poem and interview indeed. Esteemed poet Birendu, on behalf of Pen Wonders International team and I, receive our immense gratitude for this brilliant moment. And you guys, I'm sending you much light, love and peace. See you soon.